Good evening, everybody. It's Mark again from Visible Image. It says Mark and Helen. Helen's in the background, so should be writing and reading all the comments. I'll give people a few minutes to catch up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel, and obviously ring the bell. You'll get those notifications when we're doing the next live. Let's have a shout out to a few people here. We have Jane. Hi Jane. We have Nola, Helen, Ivy, Ellie. Facebook. Somebody on Facebook. Some obviously in the group. Can't see who you are. Sorry. Yeah. It's. Oh, there's Rox here. Hi Rox. And Hazel Young. Yeah. Hazel Saint Fab shirt. Not really. No, it's an old one now. I couldn't decide on what to wear. Just go with what you like. Yeah. So yes. Another day, and I hope everyone's been busy today. It's been a kind of a weird day for me. I've kind of been prepping for this demonstration, but you know when you kind of spend all day doing something and it looks like you haven't done anything. Well, that's been one of those days. So there we go. Helen can prove that I spent all day doing this. I say doing nothing, but I was doing something. So there we go. Shout out to a few more people. We have Sue here. We have Angel North, nice. And we have CM Hawkins. Oh, greetings from Texas. Thank you, CM Hawkins. I hope the weather's lovely in Texas. Oh, we have so many people here today. It's great. Jacqueline as well. So and we have Olga as well. Wow. So and Maxine. I don't know. I can't stop. There's just so many people. So thank you so much for joining me. Today we're gonna have a play with one of our new stamped sets and dies. These are. Let me just swap camera. Okay. So the just reading rocks. It's 4:30 a.m. in Australia. Wow. That's very early. So brand new set, the Splash of Whiskey, awesome set. It obviously, if you've got any of our other like drink sets, this is a very welcome addition. Don't forget we've got the wine, we've got the beer, we've got the champagne, we've got the gin, we've got the wine. Oh, so you know this is and cocktails as well. We've got cocktails are new. I haven't demonstrated that yet, but we will do. So it's a great set. We have let's have a quick look inside it. We've got a lot in this set. We've got obviously the whiskey bottle. We've got the whiskey glass. You've got like a straight shot of whiskey there. Then you've got like a splash of whiskey with ice cubes in it. You've got that orange peel. You've got ice cube. You've got this. You've got two sentiments. We've got the older you get, the more I like you, and maturing well. I like that. And then we've got this awesome kind of like wood plank effect on the bottom here, which is really cool as well. Love that. Then we also have, obviously, if you've got the stamps, then you know why not have the dies to go with it. Really cool idea to have the dies. Just allows you to cut out those elements. Just makes your life easier. That's all. I mean, it's not compulsory, but you know, once you get them, you'll see why they were such a good idea. You'll thank yourself for it. Then I'm also going to probably just use a little bit of our fibre stencil as well, because I think it's such a great stencil and it will kind of work well with what I'm doing. So that's what I'm going to be playing with tonight. Again, nothing too complicated. There will be one or two firsts for me, so we'll see how that goes. nothing exciting, nothing out of the world, but something I've never done before, so it'll be a first for me. So there we go. I'm just reading a few more comments. Rox is saying it's such a fabulous stamps and sentiment and dies. Yeah, they are good, and yeah, everyone. You know, I don't mind cutting them out. It's just you know, if you got the ability to cut them out easily, then do it. That's what I say. Oh, we've got Linda Hall here. Hi, Linda. And we've got Olga as well. So, yeah, great. Lots of people here. So, right, I'll make a start. We'll start off with, let's have a look. We'll move those out of the way, and we'll bring in the stamping platform. Now, I've already just prepped. It's just this is standard 6x6 card. Really straightforward. I've already put the whiskey bottle on there, and I've also placed the whiskey glass there as well. So I'm hoping I'm hoping I've played it in the right place, because it's sometimes it's a bit of a guess. So we'll see now. It looks pretty close to where I want to have a play with it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to ink these up. Let me just move that across so you can see. And I'm going to use some of the VersaFine Onyx Black. Great black to use. Let me just get my glasses so I can see. So obviously I'm inking both of these up at the same time because they're obviously going on this card. I mean, you can do them separately if you wish. It's entirely up to you. So just ink that up, and as I say, lightly press down on there. Now if you want a darker image, then obviously just go back in there a second time with it. Just give it a second for that ink to transfer from the stamp to the card. I've got a lovely image there, but I want a little bit darker because I'm going to be embossing it. So just going to go back in there. I might use my other, I've got two Onyx Blacks. We'll see which ones I find is the darker. I need to re-ink these up. Always try and make sure you've got a nice juicy pad if possible. Always a good idea to have re-inkers in the background so you can just re-ink that stamp, the ink pad, many times. So just go over that there, and we've got a lovely whiskey bottle and the glass. Now what next to do is just take that away from the stamping platform, and we shall use some piece of paper. I'm going to clear emboss this. So clear embossing powder. This is Wow embossing powder. If anyone wants to know what kind of embossing powder it is, just use whatever you've got. If you don't have the Wow, sprinkle it over. Tap off the excess. Got a little bit of something there, right? We'll place that back in our tub. Okay. So I shall heat emboss this now. So I think I'm just stamping onto some Centura Pearl cardstock. It's one of the things that I use quite often. Obviously the plain side and not the silver side. I sometimes use the other side as well for other things. So it makes a good background paper as well. So just heating this up. Okay. So I think we're pretty good with that. Now I shall just show you. So obviously now you can see it's gorgeously embossed. Okay. So the next thing I want to do is I want to just bring in my stamping mat because I want to go back in, and the other thing I want to do is I want to put the splash into the glass. Now, obviously, the set does come with. You've got a choice to use. You see, you can either use this one, which will fit, or you can use this one if you like your whiskey neat and not with any rocks. So you got a choice as to what you do there. I will show you how I do this now. So I've obviously stamped it once. Next thing you want to do is grab your next colour. Now for this I'm going to be using fossilised amber. It's kind of it's very much a kind of whiskey-ish colour. It'll look great as well, so I'm going to use that. I will just zoom in with the camera so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. So I've got my stamp on a block. We're going to go old school freehand. Now I'm using the Tim Holtz Distress Inks. This isn't the oxides version. This is just your standard distress water-based ink. Give it a good drench of ink. Make sure you're happy with it. Now, I'm just going to have to line this up, so you have to excuse my head. I'll try and keep my head out of the way for a second, if I can. Sometimes it's pretty hard to, without looking over. I'm trying to look over. Once you've got it lined up, I'm trying to do it without looking. Bear with me, I'm looking at it at a 45-degree angle, so hopefully I've got it straight in there. Okay. Just give it a second for that ink to transfer to the piece of card. And there we go. That's not bad considering I was doing it at an angle. I think it's pretty good. Okay, nice. What we'll quickly do now is we will also, we don't actually have to emboss this here because I've already done one earlier, and I should explain what I'm doing next. The next thing I want to do is I want to colour in the whiskey bottle, so I'll do that next. Let me just get my chair so I can sit down and do this. Makes my life easier, and my back. So the colours I'm going to use are, right, we'll use the fossilised amber, and we'll also use another colour. I think we'll use spice marmalade. I'm going to find my spice marmalade. Right. Okay. So I'm going to use these two colours here, and that will give us the right colour for the whiskey bottle. So put them to one side. Just go out just a second. Now what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to get a clear block. Which I'll place here, and we'll grab some spice marmalade, dab it onto the block there. We'll also use some of the fossilised amber. I just need my brush, one brush, a little bit of water as well. Okay. So I'm just going to colour this in, just to kind of get the right kind of colour for a whiskey bottle. So just going in there with my brush, picking up some of the colour of the this is the fossilised amber to start with. So a quick kind of pretty quick wash with the fossilised amber. Again, this is where you don't have to be too. I think this is a very easy technique. You know, you can colour this in and make it quite realistic looking without doing an awful lot to it. I think most of the work has already been done for you with some of the lines in the bottle. So just going in there, giving that some colour. Again, really quick to do this. So again, you don't have to be too fussy. You kind of give it that kind of watercolour kind of wash look on it. What you want to go in now is bring it a little bit more to life. Is you want to pick up some of the spice marmalade. So you're going to go back in there with this darker colour. And I'm kind of working on the edges first, and the bottom of the bottle. Just give it a little bit darker, and then the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to make some kind of brush strokes across the centre there up to the label. A bit more water, and we're going to do the same going down the bottle here as well. So I'm just wetting the card first, because then the ink will flow better across the paper. So just go back in there, a little bit darker. I'm going to go on the edges there as well, just highlight those. And this way you can go back in with the other colour, and just, you don't want to blend them to be looking like too what would I like to say, you don't want it to look too computer, you know, like where you're colouring it and it's incredibly it's blended to a very high. You want it to be a little bit kind of rough looking, because it looks a bit more realistic with the glass. You don't want it to be too smooth, too perfect. I think that's the word. Yeah, not too perfect is the is what you want to try and for. So just going in there a little bit there on the edge there, a little bit darker on some of those. Again, you can just pick up there because the bottles are picking lots of light from different locations, and you're just going to get that kind of look that you're looking for. And just go with that there. Just take some of that out. Okay. So yeah, I think I'm happy with that now. Okay. Just go back in and until you're happy with it, what we will do is we will add in some more highlights as well in a second. So I think that's pretty much the bottle coloured in. Very easy to do, not too complicated. Now the only thing you want to do next is you want to colour in the whiskey label. Again, very easy to do, and just like that. And I'm only going to use a couple of colours, very, very pale colours, just to give it that label some kind of an aged look. You don't want it to be left white. That's what you don't want to do. So I'm just going to wipe that up. So the next two colours I'm going to use are, let's go get this down the way. Right, two colours are going to be, we have a bit of vintage photo, so just a little bit of that. And the other colour is, where did I put it, Mark? The other colour is antique linen. Aha, right. So a bit of antique linen. So those two together should get the colour that you're after for your for the label. So I'm just going to wipe my brush a second. Now this is going to be, it's going to be very. You still want that white to come through, so it's not going to be totally coloured in. You just want to give it the hint of some colour to it. So I'm going to add just some water on there. So use my brush again, pick up that water, just wet that card to start off with. That really does help the ink to flow across the card. So just doing that there. Now I'm going to pick up some of the antique linen, and we're just going to go in there. If I zoom the camera in just a touch there, you'll be able to see it a little bit better. Well, there we go. So just going in there with the antique linen. Again, you don't want to come all the way to the centre. Just you can just a little bit, just as it approaches the centre, you want to kind of stop. So this is where you start to bring this bottle to life. So just go back in there, the antique linen, and we'll come back in now in a second. And I kind of like, you don't have to just kind of bits of it in. You want it kind of look a little bit aged looking. So this is where you come back in now with your vintage photo colour, and this is going to make it look a lot darker. So you want to kind of go in there, just pull that colour out, and you just want it to look very much aged. Somebody's saying, "Oh, that's fine, Facebook user. If you're late, it doesn't matter. It's fine. It's absolutely fine if you want to watch it later. It's not going anywhere." So I'm just going in with that vintage photo on the edge there. It's like the label is aged on the side there, which is looking pretty good now, I think. So just go in a bit more water there. We'll work on this side now. Again, very easy. With limited colours, you can really create something that looks really good. And this hasn't taken too long at all. So just go in there. You don't have to be too perfect. And if you're not happy with it, grab a little bit of water there, just go back in and pull that colour out a bit. It's not going to be perfect, you don't want it to be perfect. There, so you can start to see how that bottle looks really cool, doesn't it? I think it looks nice. So I'm just reading a few of the comments here. All right, okay, so we have Jane saying, my husband is a whiskey drinker, but we'll have to wait until January for a birthday. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, say, you know, the whiskey is actually one of the drinks that is like, it's kind of the cool drink for 2023. It's the in colour. It's the in drink. Sorry. And look, do you see how I love that kind of look with the light reflection there on the whiskey as well? That looks really cool. Love that. That's great. That's exactly the kind of look we're going for. You don't want it to be ultra clean and smooth. Kind of sometimes less is a little bit more, you know. But I think, you know, that label looks pretty good. That looks really nice. I'm just reading a few more comments here. Let's have a look. My comments have disappeared. Right. Okay. So it's starting to look more like whiskey now. So the next thing we want to do. Let me just wipe that up. So the next thing we want to do is just take that away. We're going to use a white pen. Now you can use. You've got a choice here. You can obviously use your jelly roll pens if you've got those, or your Posca pens. Now I found that when I'm doing this kind of thing, when I'm highlighting stuff like this now, it's great if you want to highlight it and then leave it. If you plan on putting glossy accents on, which I do plan on using, if you plan on using, say, glossy accents, you will. If you've used glossy accents before, you will find that your white pens, they merge with the rest of the colour, so they're not as bright as they were. Just bear that in mind. And sometimes if you overcompensate how much white you put on there, it will probably look a little bit better. So, I mean, you know, you can start off, if you're going to leave it like this, you can do, because it looks great. If I was going to go in now, I'd probably, just, you know, you don't have to do an awful lot to this. So I'd probably just follow this line down here, put a little bit of white there. I'll probably put some white up there, some white on the edge there. Some white going down there as well, and white along there, white down this side, maybe a little bit of white there, so white going across there. Now also go down to the base there, just put a little bit white on the bottom, grab some highlight there off the base and go around there. And you know, you don't have to do an awful lot to make that look pretty good. If you want to go back in, as I say, just highlight that, because obviously the colour is still quite wet. So I mean, I'm doing this now and it's not quite dry yet, but you get the general idea as to where we go with this. Now I'm stopping it there with this. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to use well, first of all, I'll show you the difference between so this one here, that let me just move that out of the way so you can see. This, so there's this is our basic card. Oops, throwing things around here. Now, if you want to put glossy accents on it, which I've done, is you need to obviously stamp it out again. And you see the one I've done here of glossy accents. I mean, it doesn't look. It looks. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. It's got that whole glassy look going on there. And same thing, but the glossiness actually brings out, it makes it brighter. So again, same colours. So I'm going to put this is going to go over this, but I'm going to do some stenciling first. So again, I just wanted to show you colouring in the whiskey, how that looks before glossy accents and then after. So it's entirely up to you, whatever your look is. As I say, I put the white on both of these, but you can see it's kind of faded in on the glossy accents. I will go back over that afterwards. I've got a white Posca pen, which I will use on the top of this now. The glass, again, I've got a glass here, which I've already put glossy accents on as well. But the glossy accents on it, it does look cracking, doesn't it? It looks really, really nice. So we'll put this out of the way for a minute and we'll do some stenciling. So just let me zoom that camera up there. Okay, right. So we'll get our stencil. This is our framed fibres. So I'm just going to place that over the top of my card. And I'm just kind of obviously be a little bit aware. Obviously, I kind of don't want to go too much over what my image is, so I'm just going to be a little bit careful to do it as a kind of background. Luckily, I'm putting elements over the top of this, so this doesn't matter too much. I don't want to go over my splashes where possible, so I'm just going to be a little bit careful. And I've got a brush, and I will use again some. I think I'll use some spiced marmalade. Okay, so a little bit of spiced marmalade, and we're just gonna give it some depth and life. So we're just gonna go gently around there. I'm gonna bring this to life. This is one of our best-selling stencils. It's absolutely fantastic, and it's great whether it be kind of waves or flames or I mean, you know, it's got so many uses. So I'm just being a little bit careful where I'm going around this. I'm just seeing how that's going to look. I'll just pull that back there a second. Now you can see it's really starting to come to life there. I do like that. Again, not like me. I'm actually holding it on with my hand. So normally I would tape it down if you're not so. I'm liable to slip. So just trying to be a little bit more careful when I'm going around this. I've kind of got like the Vulcan grip here going on with this. So yeah, let me just highlight some of those areas you want darker, and I think we'll. Oh yeah, that's really starting to come to life. And again, it just gives it some of that depth that I'm looking for. That's perfect. I think I'll stop there with that. So I'll put that to one side. So we have our basic. This is as basic part of it as you can get. Now the other thing I want to do is I do want to stamp the. So I have here. I should just show you what I've got here. Oh, I've got the right piece of card. Good question. No. Okay. So a piece of card. I've just used some distress sprays, brown ones. I think it was a combination of walnut, vintage photo. There was a lot of different spray browns, but whatever brown you've got, it'll just work perfect. So just bring this to one side, and I want to stamp the plank, the wooden plank. So what I want to do is I'll just get my stamping mat. There's a lot of elements to this today, so bear with me whilst I try and work out in my head as I'm going what order I was doing it all in. Now, I think you've got a choice. We can use either use pine cone or acorn. This is the Versavine Claire's great colour inks. I think for this I'm just going to use the acorn colour because it's a nice colour. Ink this up. So just move it to one side and we'll start that. So again, obviously, I try not to stamp directly onto a glass mat because obviously it's not so forgiving. So always use a mat if you've got one. So we'll take that off, and we have that wooden plank. Now the next thing we need to do is just quickly emboss that. So I'll get my embossing powder. This is what brings it to life. Just move out of the way. Oh, right, okay. Glossy accents. Yeah, you always. Sarah Hawkins is saying about not using glossy accents. You should use them. You know, they're great thing to have. I tend to use mine all the time, so they're well worth having. So you can heat it from the top or the bottom. Depends on. I'm just heating it from the top, and so you can see. And I hope I won't burn my fingers. There we go. Hope you can see that. There we go. So now, as you can see, I've been a busy little boy, and I have stamped a lot of these already and cut them out. So basically, I would just get my die, put it over the top, and cut it out. Stick it down, cut it out, run it through I have a Gemini machine with the electronic ones, great for cutting. So stick it down and then just run it through your machine, and it cuts it out perfectly. And what you shall have is, you will have one of these when it's finished. So when it's cut out. So this is what you've got there. And I think the nice thing about, I mean, the thing is, you can always, you could, if you wanted to, is stamp it first, colour it in, and then cut it out. But if you don't want to have any kind of white border, then if you stamp it onto already piece of coloured card, or maybe craft card as well. Craft card is a good colour as well. So it's entirely up to you. But I like having this kind of, with the spray there, I like having the variations in the colour. It's not consistent all the way through. So I do like that as well. It's like kind of more kind of natural looking. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'll show you what I've actually stamped and cut out a lot of these. So I'll show you what I've done with those in a minute. The next thing I'll need to do is to show you, so it's a first for me, as I said at the beginning, gatefold cards. So not, you know, a gatefold card. I don't think I've ever done a gatefold card before, so this is a first for me. Again, it's just, obviously this is 6x6, and then obviously the flaps then would come to the centre, so they would just go into the centre like that. So the first thing I want to do is I want to put this is going to go in the centre of my card there, and there's a few elements that I haven't quite worked out or finished yet, but this is going to go on here, and then I've probably got the glass, the whiskey glass there, and then the glass. Oh, she's got the glass as well. So look, there we go. Look, so you've got I've already used the glossy accents on the glass as well, and I've done exactly the same. You see, I've stamped it out. I've stamped inside before I've cut it. Now that's one of the benefits of doing that, is it allows you, then you could place it over this one I've already just stamped straight, and you can match it up, and it'll look like it's still coming out of the glass. It looks brilliant. So that's what I've done with those. So I shall probably put this is going to sit here, and then that bottle and the glass is going to kind of sit on top of the piece of wood. I think that's what's going to go in the centre there. Now I'm just going to stick this down first to my gatefold card, and then we can work on that, and then we can work on the outside of the card as well, because obviously being a gatefold, there's things I've done on the outside, so I'll show you that in a second. I'm just going to stick this down. So look, what am I going to stick it down with today, Mark? Good question. I'll tell you what I will do is I'm going to use glue. I'm going to use some wet glue today. So I'm just going to stick this down. Bear with me. I'll read a few of your comments whilst I'm sticking this down. Oh, we have Jeanette here. Hi, Jeanette. We've got a house full again tomorrow, haven't we, Helen? Helen's daughters are both coming home from uni tomorrow for a couple of weeks. Yeah, so we're going to have a house full again. Noisy house. a nice noisy house. So great. So I'm just going to put this down now. I'm going to try and do that. I'm going to try and do this without looking too close at it. As long as I know I can get it to fold, I'll be happy with that. And it's quite central as well. Right, I just press that down. So we have the inside kind of not quite done yet. Let's work on that then, shall we? So I think I'm going to have a plank. Again, if you're doing this, I did quite a few. So, you know, you can decide on which colour you want to go for. Just see how different that some of them get. Depends on where you sprayed and everything. So I like that. That's because they're not. It's more natural like that. So I do like that. So I do like that a lot. I'm going to go for the. I don't know whether to go for the lighter one or darker one. I can see now which my bottle looks like on the top. I think I'll go for the darker one. Right. So again, now when I stamped these, it was kind of a guess as to where it was going to go, but I think that kind of works there. I want it just over there like that, so that'd look great. So I'm going to stick that down in a second, and I'm going to stick it. I think I'm going to stick it quite flat because obviously you've got a gatefold there. When they come together, you don't want it to be raised too much, so we're going to have this kind of quite flat. But it'll still look pretty cool, I think. Let me just get some more glue. So I shall use. What am I going to use? Oh, do you know what? I never got out my silicone glue today. That's the first word. Maybe I'll use my silicone glue. I'm still going to stick it flat. The only reason I'm going to use silicone glue is if I'm not happy, I can always move it after. So that's my plan anyway. Right. I still use my silicone glue. I don't know whether my silicone glue's dying. Didn't prep my silicone glue. Oh yeah, we're okay, we're good. So I've got some silicone glue. Oops. Just grab some glue out. Again, this is going to go relatively flat. I don't mind if it sticks up a little bit. Just give me a little bit of play. So now this is. Just see how when you're working backwards, sometimes you have to kind of work out in your head what you're doing before you start it, because obviously you can't change it once you've done it. So I'm kind of going with that there. It doesn't matter that I've coloured this in for you because I was trying to show you how I would colour it in. The same with the glass. Again, it was wanting to show you that part of it, but I need this part anyway, and I'll show you why now. So we have the piece of wood so the drinks can sit on. I'll use one of the gorgeous glossy accent bottles. Now this is going to go straight over the top, but it's going to look great because it's going to cover that up. So we'll stick that down next. I'll get some more glue. Oh, we have Gillian here as well. Gillian said she's got distracted. That's fine, everyone does. Yeah, I am. Do you know what? I think I've had a full-on day, but do you know when sometimes those days like has gone and you think, well, what did I actually do? And but I have been busy. So I'm just sticking this down. Plenty of glue there just to stick that down. And just bend it into shape, the shape I want it. Should have just bent it around a bit, shouldn't I? Of course, you do have to be a little bit careful you don't crack the glossy accents. So just kind of bending it around a bit. Right, okay, I think we'll do that. So this is going to go straight over there, covering that other bottle up. Again, it doesn't matter because we've got that angle thing going on as well, so that kind of 3D look going on, so that looks really nice. Yeah, you can't even see it. It looks more three-dimensional like that, but you can see how cool that those glossy accents are on there. So now I will tell you now, the front of the card I kind of thought I knew what I was doing. But I haven't quite finished it, so I'm not even sure that the kind of mechanics or the logistics of how I'm going to complete the front of it, I've actually thought out quite yet. So the end result may not be the end result. I may have to go in and do it. I'll explain to you why I haven't thought about the mechanics of it yet or how to do it. I had an idea in my head at the 11th hour as to what I wanted to do, but then I ran out of time and I couldn't remember how I was going to do it. I needed a lot of thought as to how I was going to actually do it. So now you want to be a little bit more careful with this one here, because you need it to line up so that the splash still comes out of the glass. Do you see what I mean there? So you just be careful, and you see how that's all lined up just right. And I'm just zooming in a little bit there with that. So, just see how that looks pretty good, I think, doesn't it? Again, that just that hint of the stencils. What I didn't want. I wanted you to be drawn to the whiskey bottle and the glass and the splash. Everything else is just, you know, it's just background stuff, but it looks good. Oh, look. Oh, there we go. I'll show you what I was doing now. Hinted there, look. So, gatefold, what I wanted to do on the front was, I wanted to have this kind of wood effect thing going on with this gatefold, so that when it closes, it's kind of like, it's got like that wood kind of effect going on. So that's exactly what I was going for. I haven't got it finished yet. I've got to stick another piece on there now. So again, all I've done is I've stamped and embossed and cut out like probably, I don't know, a dozen or so of these. Again, just from what a piece of A4 card, if you've sprayed it with your distress inks or alcohol inks, whatever inks you've got there, or just colour them in individually if you don't have those. And then just emboss them, clear embossed, and you're going to get that lovely kind of wood effect. I wanted that kind of like wood effect thing going on there, so that when people go, whoa, open up and go, oh yeah, that's really cool. So yeah, Helen was saying, do you know, it does take a while to do to do with all those, I must admit. Of course, now the other thing is because they were whole planks, what you didn't want to do was, well, the first idea was that I was going to have them overlapping and then they would kind of like join in, kind of like that together. But I know from experience that when you close it up, it always catches, and I didn't want that to happen. So let me just stick this piece on here now, because I've still got this piece outstanding to stick on, if I can find it. Right. Okay. So obviously, if you're cutting the pieces, don't forget that if you can see from this edge, is get your blending tool, go in there, and just take off. See that white edge there? You don't want that. So just go back in there and get rid of that white edge. That just kind of makes all the difference, you know, to your project. So I'm just going to glue this down. So we'll just get a bit of glue. Is this the right one? Oh, this is sticking again, Mark. All right, okay, we've got it. So go in with there. And once I've stuck this down, I'll tell you my idea for finishing it off. Now, you know, as per normal, you have to think about what you've actually got in your stash. What do you have, or what do I have to finish this off? And I've got a lot of new bits and pieces which I haven't had a chance to go through yet. So I'm just looking for the right thing. I think I'm going to end up using a brad, but we'll see now. I'll show you what I want to do. So I haven't quite finished this yet. I'll just take that glue off there. So we have, move that out of the way. So we have this here so far. and then it opens out, and hooray, we've got a lovely drink. It's a great, to open it up, but I want to be able to open it up for somebody. So my kind of idea is this, and I haven't quite got it sussed yet, and I haven't even put any sentiments on it yet. So I've got to sort out the sentiment, but what I want to do is kind of have maybe like another piece of wood, possibly that kind of like comes up and it kind of like locks it down, and you open it up to see inside it, or you kind of slide it along. I'm just trying to work out the easiest mechanical way of doing it. So somebody slides it along, or it just kind of clicks shut. I don't know. I haven't worked it out yet. So that's the issue that I've got. I haven't done that yet. But the sentiment, I'm going to have to put some sentiments on there. So I haven't decided on to whether I want to have the sentiment across the center of this, and you kind of lift it up, and then it opens out, which I think I probably will, because I think that looks great like that. So it's just a nice surprise inside. So I will put a sentiment on this piece of wood now. And I wanted to do a kind of masculine card, but I mean, you could have, if you want to do whitewashed board, you could do that. I'm only choosing like the brown because of wood, and it is a kind of masculine card. But grey whitewashed boards, you're going to get a totally different look. It's going to like, you could have this for beach kind of things as well. Now the other thing, so I'm going to get, right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get the sentiment. I'm going to get sentiments and get stamping the sentiment. So the sentiment I'm going to stamp is, when I find my set, okay. So we've got a choice here. I'm going to have, because I designed the sentiments so you could fit them onto the piece of wood anyway. So you got those there like that. They do fit on the piece of wood. That was thought out like that as well. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp the maturing well on a piece of black probably, and maybe stamp it in black, gold on a piece of black card. So that's going to go on the front there. And then that will go on the front there somehow. I don't know whether, I'm just looking at ideas. Anybody got any ideas? I'm thinking of possibly a brad there, and then some kind of like something to catch this when it comes down, like a shutter, like an old, you see in those kind of movies. I don't know. I haven't decided, or some kind of like lock-in mechanism. Do you know when you can't decide? Anyway, I'm gonna do this part, and we're gonna put this on the front, and that'll be it for tonight. But I think we're kind of pretty much getting there. I think with how it's supposed to look. When I have finished it, I will obviously post the full-on idea of how I got around that issue. Again, it's just about what you've got in your stash. So let me just get a block now, my stamping platform. So, and I've got to apologise because I did think about it for a while as to how I was going to do it, and I hadn't solved that issue yet. So let me just put that to one side. Right, so I think I'm going to use maturing well, and we're going to use gold embossing powder with this, I think on a piece of black card. I'll use this block, I think. So let's put this down. Okay, and so I want my Versamark. I need some Versamark. So you need your Versamark ink. And I also need a piece of black card. Bear with me a second. Right, I have a piece of black card. I have my stamp. I just stamp that. Versamark and gold embossing powder. Oh yes, metallic gold rich. That will do it. That's the kind of colour that will go with the kind of wood. So that will be the choice of colour today. Okay, so next thing I want to do. Oh, do you know what? I nearly forgot as well. I nearly forgot something. I need to put this on. There's the 11th hour. I haven't finished yet. I haven't finished the inside. Let's just open this up just a second. Do you know? What did I forget? Helen? So, we have this gorgeous, we have the orange peel here. Again, coloured in there. A couple of white speckles there on the peel. Just to kind of make it look like orange peel there. A little bit of white there in between. Oops, flicking it away. But that looks kind of great. So that's going to go. I think I'm going to stick that down there. And I've also got, I know there's so much in this set, so sometimes I'm sorry if I forgot these basic things. I did do this, and I'd be annoyed with myself if I didn't put it on. So again, pre-cut out as well, so that's great. I'm not going to stamp that today. So I think the orange peel will go kind of somewhere in the middle there between them. And just to finish it off, I do have one other thing, or two other things I should say. We have some ice cubes. So I've got a couple of ice cubes there as well. Just to, obviously you've got ice cubes in there, but we're going to put another ice cube on there as well. So I might put two of those in, flying ice cubes down as well. So let me just quickly stick those down. Again, it's all those little details. Like, it's nice to be able to always, like, people open this up and go, oh wow. So I like that. So I think we'll have one there. And just put them at different angles. And not the same rotation. So we'll have that one probably there. Just a second there so you can see that. So with the ice cubes that are going in there, that looks great like that. Yeah, we'll just do the sentiment next. So, right, so there's a mark. I'm just reading all the comments now. Oh yeah, yeah. But Jane's saying the peel's awesome. Yeah, it is. I love that peel. Love it. Perfect. Perfect. Perfect for this. I should use my anti-static pad. Okay. Right. I'm going to try and. I'm trying to stamp this without sticking my head in the way. And okay, that's quite straight. Let me just zoom out and touch there. So I need my gold embossing powder. This is wow as well. I've got quite a lot of embossing powders. Like, well, I say a lot. I've got lots of the same kind of colours. I have golds and your silvers and lots from different brands. So, but they're all very, very similar powders, to be quite honest with you. I haven't found much difference between them. Some I do like, and I go with again. But you know, all in all, you know, whatever you've got, use. Let me just emboss this now. Heat emboss it. If I just hold it up there, you'll be able to see. Yep. Try not to burn my hand. Okay. Oh. Right. So, now what I did want to say is that obviously this camera's not being funny again today. If you've got any tiny specks of gold there, you can get around that as well. So I actually missed a bit on the edge there. Just heat that up. Sorry. Okay, now we're done. Yeah, or just go in with your black Sharpie pen. That will cover up a multitude of sins. Now, what I did want to say, which is important, which is really cool, if you haven't got this set already, but the whiskey set, this set does have a kind of, I say a cousin. Yeah, I would say it's a cousin because I thought about what I was going to do, how cool this set was with the font that you're going to use, but it's kind of like a manly kind of thing here. And I thought to myself, well, what if people wanted to use this set that I did a while ago, but if you look, I used exactly the same font, so they will work together, which is really cool. See, and that happy birthday will sit over the top of the older you get, the more I like you as well. So that is something maybe you didn't know before, but that is a really cool set. I do like this one as well. And they would work together. That would be a great background to put behind the whiskey. So yeah, these will work together individually as well. So don't forget, you could create some stunning combinations here with the two of them as well, if you were going to go down that route. But this is great for manly cards, but also these work well as weddings as well. So they're really cool. Just want to get that in there because obviously some people don't know. I think I'm going to have to do a series on associations or maybe things that you didn't know about sets that you've got. I think that would work well because maybe you didn't know that some of the things work together that you didn't know before, and I thought about that when they were being created. So yeah, so they do go together. Same font, but they will sit together. That will sit over the top of the older you get, the more I like you as well. So if you wanted to put happy birthday inside, you could do that, and it wouldn't look odd. You know, there's nothing worse than having stamping something and then your stamp inside doesn't quite match the style or what you're trying to do. So these were designed to work together. So just wanted to put that out there, let you know. Always good to tell you. Right, so I'm going to quickly cut this out. I'm going to put it onto the piece of wood as well. Right, where am I? Oh yes. Right, I shall quickly chop this out. Old school, using a knife as well. So I'm just going to get my ruler, and I will try not to cut myself today. I try not to cut myself any day, but particularly today. So again, if you've got a small cutting guillotine, then feel free to use that. So I'm just going to, probably better than doing it this way. It'll be safer. And it'll probably be straighter as well. Sometimes I'm very annoyed with myself when I cut things not straight. I don't know about you, but that's me. Okay, pretty much done there. So we have this lovely sentiment here, maturing well, and that will work well against the wood as well. So let's put this down, and we'll see. Bring this back in. That's going to go on top of there. Again, designed to fit, so that's great, perfect. I'll just quickly stick this on. My glue. Where to put my glue? Right. So just quickly stick this down. Yes, Rox is saying about embracing imperfections. Very true. I used to try and you can't. It's impossible to be perfect. I've you know, no matter how much you try, you just can't. So I just have to. You just have to go with it and always say that your next card is your best card. That's my new excuse anyway. It does annoy me. It doesn't. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing more annoying, but you just sometimes you've got to let it go. So I do like that. I haven't worked out the mechanics of what I'm going to do here with this yet, so I'm thinking it's going to have to be some kind of brad or something. I'm going to work out on this and see what I'm going to do, But I may have Maturing Well. I mean, I may have another sentiment on there. I haven't decided on that now. I like how people go, oh, what's this then? And then kind of open it up, and you know, they have that. So it's like, it's nice. I do like that. That's good. So yeah. So that is kind of like where we are, but not bad for a kind of hour. It's not 100% complete. It's not 100% complete, but that's life, you know. I didn't quite work out how I'm going to finish that off yet. I will, and I will post that up. But you can see the kind of idea that gone behind that as well. So again, it's just nice to see, because you know, if people had that with the sentiment on there, they go, "Oh wow, what's this?" And then they open it up and they go, "Oh wow," and it's just something really cool for somebody to have. I do love that. I like that. I'm happy with that. Right, I will. Before I go, I'm not going to go yet. There's a few things I need to say. Very important things I need to say. So I will quickly. First of all, I do apologise I didn't get quite finished, but you can see where I was going with the whole idea. If you've got an idea that I could use with it, then that's great. Let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to have to just try and figure it out in my own head. Which is half the battle sometimes, isn't it? I want to show you, there's two things. I want to, announce the winners. Although Helen has already done it online, I will announce them live now. I will also show what the design team did with the same stamp set and dies. I couldn't quite reach the same bar as them, but they are amazing, and you know, I do appreciate everything you guys do. So let me just go and get those cards a second, and I will show you what they did with that set. Right, so I have a few samples here. So let me just move my creation out of the way a second. I'll move that out of the way. Okay. And we have the first one here. This one's from Linda. Sorry, Linda. This one is from you, and I do love this one. If you haven't got that as a die, then you should. Yeah, we have a load more coming back in stock. So yeah, amazing die again. So she's kind of done the same kind of thing. Well, I probably copied the same kind of idea as her, kind of putting onto the piece of wood there, but she's done some amazing colours there. Look at the splashes, what she's used with the splashes. So she's used there's still the drink there, but she's used the splashes on the edges there, and I do like that. Love that colour there as well, lovely. So that's that one. I do like this one as well. They're all nice. So this one's Jane. Now Jane used. Now you see this. This is coming back in stock as well. This is our fibers. Is it called fibers dye? I can't remember what it is. I think it's called fibers dye. It's like the fiber stencil, but it's a dye. Helen will correct me if I got it wrong. I thought it was called fibers dye. Don't get me. Maybe I can't remember off the top of my head. Framed fibers. Thank you, Helen. Thank you so much. It's framed fibers because it comes in a frame. So yeah, very cool dye. Love that. That's amazing. Look at, and again, the glossy accents going on there with that. That looks absolutely stunning. Love it. Love that dye. And again, I like how she's hooked in there the orange peel into the actual dye. That's great. And she's got maturing well as well. I love that as well. And she's got the kind of frame thing going on there with the planks. I like that. Another one here. We have this one, and now I do. Jill, sorry, Jill. So this again, this is using the fiber stencil with it, but you know, so cool. Love it. Oh, and you can see she got glossy accents going on there. Amazing, absolutely stunning. And they all look so amazing. You know, you can't buy something like this. You just can't. It's amazing. Love it. And this one, totally different. Totally different. This is kind of like, this is Eileen's kind of clean and simple look going on there. But there's a lot going on there which you don't see. There's this amazing stencil that we've got there as well. The time stencil. That's a fantastic stencil. It's got the word time on it, and it's got a big bird on there as well, so it looks like an eagle, but that's amazing. So perfect kind of whiskey, but I love that, absolutely stunning. So love that. That kind of clean and simple thing going on there. And we've got the last one, which is by Leanne. Again, there's a lot going on this, but she's got the breakout stencil. That's a new breakout stencil. But the wake up camera, come on. Right, there we go. So this is so touchy-feely. This is amazing. And we've got, I think it's stamped onto acetate here, but this is absolutely stunning. We've got kind of whole thing going on mixed media. And I do like it in black as well. Isn't that cool? Black and gold. That's different again. Like that a lot. So that is kind of where we are now, and back to finish off with what I created just now. So hopefully I shall finish that off in some way or shape or form. I haven't worked out what I'm going to do with that yet. We will see how that works out. I will obviously I will let you know, and I will show you the finished design there. So just reading a few more comments here. Thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for the excellent comments. We have Claire here. Colours on this are fab. Thank you. Yeah, the colours. See, it's a great when everybody's doing something completely different with the same sets, and you can't ask for any more. That just shows how kind of versatile they are. And again, obviously, kind of using stamps from other sets that coordinate and will work with it as well. That is amazing as well. So thank you everybody for watching, and I shall see you again on Saturday. Yes, we have our girls coming home from university tomorrow. So I nearly forgot. I'm not going. Don't go anywhere.
Winners!
Helen's just shouting. She's shouting.
I just ran in because I could see you were going to end it.
Thank you, Helen. She's shouting at me now because I didn't talk about the winners. Let me just get the winners. Right. So here we go. Thank you, Helen.
I've got wet feet now. In my socks in the rain.
Can you hear that? Okay, I have the list of winners. Consider myself reprimanded, okay? Consider myself reprimanded. Right. Congratulations to all the lucky winners, okay? They were all chosen at random from all the entries across Facebook and YouTube, okay? So we have the 6 A7 stamp sets. So there were 3 winners on that, and the winners are you ready? Are you ready for this? I don't have a drum roll. No, I don't have a drum roll. Okay, so we'll just have that. Right. So the 6 A7 winners, the 6 A7 stamp sets. There were 3 winners for. They would get 6 of each of them. The winners were. We have Kay Horner, we have Lorraine Brown, and we have Ian Rumpsmith. So congratulations, right. The next one is the feathers and the feather stamps and the die as well. So we had 2 winners there. We had Nola, YouTube name, and we also had Jacqueline Smith. So you know who you are. So congratulations on that one as well. The Whisky stamps and the dies. We had Angie Gary and Sonia Kemp. So congratulations to you both. This is like the Academy Awards, isn't it? We have the cocktail stamps and dies. We have Tracy Brown, and we have Louise Batten Holland. So congratulations to you too. So please email us at info@visibleimage.com with your address so we can get those prizes out to you. Otherwise, we can't send them. I'm sure you will email in. So thank you everybody who commented and watched and left some wonderful comments for us. We do this whole thing for you guys to give you ideas of what you can do with the stamp sets. We're here probably nearly 3 times a week. We're getting there. So I will see you again on Saturday. Have fun. Have a fabulous weekend. So I'm not sure what time I'm going to be on Saturday. Probably 3 p.m. possibly. I'm not sure yet. Or it could be earlier. So if you want to know when I'm on, ring the bell, hit the notification, okay? So you'll know, and subscribe as well, subscribe. You'll know as soon as I go live, and before, normally 24 hours beforehand as well, so you can plan your day out a little bit better. But obviously they'll be on YouTube afterwards anyway, but it does help to watch live. You can comment as well, so it's great fun, and I enjoy having you here. Your company means everything. It's sometimes hard enough talking to nobody, so I say nobody, I said there's nobody else in the room besides myself, so sometimes it's nice to be able to see comments and everyone's joining in, so that's great fun. So thank you everybody, and I'll see you on Saturday. So have a nice evening, and I'll see you then.